All right, so look, this is old news by now, but I think it's really important to bring up every time a conservative talks about any sort of winning that they're doing, and it relates back to the video on my main channel that'll be posted. To be a conservative is to be of no consequence, because whilst all these conservatives on Twitter, on Facebook, on TikTok are doing all this winning, the Republican Party had no problem passing the big "fuck you, I hate you" bill. Fuck you for being working class. I hate everything about you, bill. So yeah, who better to talk about it than our very own Bernie Sanders?
With me. As many of you know, the U.S. House of Representatives recently passed the so-called reconciliation bill by a vote of 215 to 214, a one-vote margin. Every Democrat voted against this bill. Almost every Republican voted for it, this piece of legislation.
That deciding vote, by the way, was J.D. Vance, I believe, Ohio's very own kid of a crackhead, someone who had previously called Trump Hitler. Am I missing anything? Fucks couches, apparently, allegedly. So yeah, really looking out for the working class people of the Republican Party.
This bill makes the obscenely rich, the oligarchs, even richer, while attacking the most basic needs of working families and the most vulnerable people in our society.
So yeah, nothing new for what Republicans stand for, pretty much. He ran on a platform of tax cuts, and conservatives bought into it because every conservative is a millionaire who hasn't gotten lucky yet, apparently, is what I'm sure they're thinking. So whilst they're getting screwed over now, they're getting bent over the couch that JD Vance fucked. The way they rationalize it, yeah, it's going to be tough. We're going to have to make some cuts, but it's going to be worth it one day when I pull myself up from my bootstraps and am richer than all the degree-having liberals that statistically have a much higher chance of a better income. That's just how society works. And whilst people were voicing their frustrations on Twitter, conservatives were caught up with immigrants, trans people, a couple motions here and there to ban gay marriage for whatever fucking reason. Nothing about how Trump and co seek to screw over the working class community that they are a part of. No, nothing along those lines. No. Why talk about that when Republican donors can just keep you distracted over here, you know?
This bill provides massive tax breaks to the richest people and largest corporations and pays for them by making gigantic cuts to Medicaid, the Affordable Care Act, nutrition, education, and other programs that are life and death for working families, the children, and the elderly.
So nothing good, right? Nothing good. To make up the differential for all these wants and needs of immigration enforcement, of God, what else? Our military, for whatever fucking reason, funding genocide in Israel. You know, the necessities that we're told we need. But let me ask you, why would the US feel like they need such a robust military if they are the neutral party trying to maintain peace? Is peace subjective on who owns the nukes? Maybe? Am I getting into territories that I don't really want to be surrounded by conservatives to talk about? No, I'm going to play it safe and move on.
Pay for these huge tax breaks for the wealthy and large corporations. Well, at a time when over 85 million Americans today are uninsured or underinsured, this bill slashes Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act by more than $715 billion. The Congressional Budget Office, the CBO, has estimated that this bill would eliminate health care for 13.7 million Americans, almost 4.
So we all know the trope that no politician is to be trusted, right? No politician tells the truth. Why is it that when Democrats pass bills, okay, sure, is questionable on the Republican side, you know, we can't really trust the Democrats. How is it that whenever Republicans pass a bill, it is the best thing in the world to their party, to their supporters who know fuck all about the economy, about politics? Could it be the ever-growing echo chamber of conservatives that are ruling social media and thus draw Republican donors into those social media circles to then infiltrate with conservative hegemony? Could that be it? I don't know. Maybe. I guess we'll never know.
14 million Americans would lose their health care. Further, at a time when 22% of our seniors are trying to survive on less than $15,000 a year, and I don't know how anybody survives on that, this legislation will make it much harder for seniors to receive the care they desperately need in nursing homes.
Conservatives are so good at conserving fuck all that they can't even conserve the oldest population in America. Like at this point, what are you conserving, right? Because to conserve something, there needs to be a something to conserve. If you think you're conserving the population of America, they're about to be gone. You're cutting their healthcare. So what exactly are conservatives conserving other than the loaded pockets of their donors, the loaded pockets of their politicians? I mean, it's no wonder everyone was celebrating this bill being signed. Everyone was clapping, cheering, smiling behind Mike Johnson. No wonder their bank account just got a whole lot juicier at the expense of the working class, of Republicans. It's nothing new.
And here is something else that is really quite shocking. Just this week, Yale University and the University of Pennsylvania estimated that if this bill is enacted, over 50,000 Americans will die unnecessarily due to the massive cuts to Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act.
But it's fine because some of those will be liberals, right? Is that the rationale with conservatives? Or is it that since a college did that study, it doesn't really matter because the woke colleges are just trying to spread the woke mind virus? Is that how they're going to rationalize this? I'm so jealous of fucking idiots because you all seem so happy all the time, oblivious to any of the effects that'll come through with the signing of this bill that have already been through the signing of this bill because this bill was signed months ago. You idiots look so happy, and I am so jealous.
Be happening to jobs in our country in the very near future. Just last week, Dario Amodei, the CEO of Anthropic, one of the world's most powerful creators of artificial intelligence, predicted that AI, quote, could wipe out half of all entry-level white-collar jobs and spike unemployment 10 to 20% in the next 1 to 5 years, end of quote. And many blue-collar jobs will be eliminated through advances in robotics.
So entry-level and blue-collar work. Who springs to mind exactly when we think about that? Entry-level may not be about degree havers, consistently Democratic voters or liberals. Blue collar. Well, a lot of conservative people are blue collar. Yeah. A lot of them live in rural America who are already suffering because of the tariffs and Trump's terrible trade deals. So yeah, I guess my one question to sort of round out this video, the Bernie Sanders video, is that can someone without a degree, without any level of knowledge in politics, any level of knowledge in economics, someone who believes college is the woke mind virus in a neat little package that you pay for, someone like that explain to me exactly how you're not going to be fucked over by this bill? Yeah, no reward if you can give me the answer. Sorry, being rewarded for being a conservative is being able to not care about anything that happens to you or the population. So you get enough in life, I feel like. All right, on to our next thought leader, Hassan.
And the Big Booty Cheeks bill, a massive wealth distribution for the wealthiest in society in the form of making the tax cuts that Donald Trump actually implemented in 2017 permanent, while also simultaneously increasing the budget for Trump's immigration detention and immigration enforcement by $175 billion, that is with a B, $billion.
$175 billion. And you know what's crazy? In his last term, Trump had to pay farmers something in the ballpark of $30 billion. Is it 30 billion? Yeah, 28 billion in financial relief for farmers who got hurt by his trade policy. So, I mean, they're cutting services, funneling it into immigration, in turn affecting our blue collar workers, who in turn get a payment relief from the Trump administration because they fucked up like his first term. Is time not a flat circle in their heads? I don't get it. Funneling away from services that disproportionately affect working class Republican people. I care about you more than Trump, right? Don't get it twisted. Don't get my tone twisted in a way that you don't think that I care about you, but I do. If you came to my doorstep and asked for a cup of sugar, a meal, I'd say, who did you vote for? You'd say Trump, and I'd say, sure, come in. If anyone on this video can explain to me how funneling all this money away from the services that Republicans and Democrats need alike, but disproportionately Republicans living in rural areas, feel free, please.
The problem process of this bill, in an effort to make these extra pay schemes work, they have to cut a lot. And the way they are cutting a lot is by adding unnecessary paperwork and hurdles to people who are recipients of Medicare.
That's fucking wild. And they can rationalize this by saying, you know, oh, it's to get the illegal aliens off the thing, you know, off the service. I mean, okay, if they're on the service, we're still sending, or you're still sending 100 billion to ICE. Like, sorry that this person that you think exists in your head somewhere in Texas near the southern border is taking advantage of one specific service. Let's nuke that service and let's put more money into that wall that they're building. And you know, while we're at it, let's paint it black because the president said it's harder to see in the nighttime. And while we're at it, let's block out the sun like Mr. Burns did before he was shot. See, I couldn't even find anything about conservatives rationalizing the bill because all I see on conservative Twitter is about, well, fucking Charlie Kirk at the moment for being shot in the neck. But it's about this random trans person who said something bad about the president who they're trying to dox on Twitter. This random teacher in fuck-ass Oregon who said Charlie Kirk deserved to die. Now they're posting their address on Twitter. You don't see anything in conservative circles that is of any value to society, which is why I say, once again, to be a conservative is to be inconsequential. You do not matter, right? If you're a conservative watching this video, explain to me your impact on the world. It'll probably boil down to being a working class worker, which I am as well. We have more in common than we may seem. You conservatives have more in common with the illegal immigrants that are coming to their country for a better life than they do with their politicians that seek to represent them, right?
Some estimates state that 17 million Americans that are on Medicaid will no longer be eligible to continue their Medicaid coverage.
But it's worth it because it lines the pockets of Donald Trump and his Trumpian family. Because he's not going to see that wealth. He made the meme coin. He's going to be alive for 2 more years tops. He's doing this for himself, for his family. He doesn't fucking care about you. But who am I to say? Thank you, Hassan. Oh, he's the man himself.
The great, big, beautiful bill that has tax cuts for the middle class. You know, no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. You work overtime.
We haven't felt that yet.
You're going to feel it really big. I'll tell you, the biggest thing right now, we have to win the Supreme Court case. If we win that case, this country is a rocket ship like no other country ever in the history of our world.
But they're not confirming your appointments either.
They're
holding them down.
The great.
Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, this was recent as well, 12 days ago. Even the guy who said that homeless people should die said we haven't felt that yet. Well, I doubt he is working class if he's working for Fox and Friends. He's probably talking about his own bank account. When the fuck is it gonna start pouring in? I am curious about the Supreme Court case that he was talking about though. Republicans, One Big Beautiful Bill Act creates an unaccountable slush fund. Trump administration deportment pause. Yeah, fucking obviously. How about temporary restraining order blocking ICE from conducting operations in Los Angeles. So he's talking about LA. Allows ICE to resume arrests of people they suspect are undocumented based on their appearance. Ruling opens the door for ICE to rely on racial stereotypes and target anyone who is perceived as a Latino. Jesus. Someone explained to me how that's not just the secret police in Russia that they always talk about. Now, I saw a video, I think it was yesterday, of this random guy being dragged out of his car at kindergarten drop-off from immigration services. Goodness. He looks very yellow as well. Is that just me? I mean, they're sort of color matched. All right. Bombshell new report from the Congressional Budget Office exposes the brutal truth about the big beautiful bill. Make poorest Americans poorer and the richer richer. They just confirmed Trump is enriching his billionaire friends at the expense of American families, stated Brendan Boyle. The largest transfer of wealth from the working Americans to the ultra rich in history. Wow. Those in the top 10% income bracket will take home an average additional $13,600 a year. Over the coming decades, the bottom 10% will suffer an annual decrease of roughly $1,200. See, it doesn't sound like a lot, $1,200, but to the bottom 10%, that is a fraction, a decent fraction of their savings that they have to give up to the Trump administration. And the top 10%, $13,000 is fucking nothing. They probably make that in a day. Jesus. Destroys the MAGA lie that the bill would help workers at every income and wealth level. This is what happens when you elect Republicans. They loot the treasury, give up the debt, victimize the poor, cause economic crisis, leave Democrats to clean up the mess. Yeah, what was that graph I saw? This didn't happen by accident because the actions we took last year, we achieved the fastest economic growth in nearly 4 decades. That's Joe Biden, by the way. That's Trump's first term, I believe. That is insane that he was able to achieve this. Him and his cabinet were able to achieve this after adopting whatever the fuck he did from Trump. There was another one I'm thinking of. I mean, this one is all right. The top 3 are Democrat. But yeah, Biden at 3% is insane, especially after Trump 1.5. GDP growth isn't the best metric for understanding how good a society is doing. But I mean, for the party that talks about being the best at handling funds and handling the economy, which is something they ran on, even though Biden's economy was pretty fucking good. It's insane when you actually look at the data that almost all Republican leaders, bar Reagan, because he did some sus neoliberalism type shit. But yeah, every recent Republican leader has just been dog shit at leading the economy, because the economy to them isn't about the American people. It's about lining their pockets, their donors' pockets. All right. Marjorie Taylor Greene criticized for not reading Trump's big, beautiful bill, Exhibit A of the Republican Party not working for the people. Republican extremists said she would have voted against tax and spending bill if she knew about AI language. Wow, that's what happens when you don't read the fucking book. Widespread criticism from Democratic colleagues for admitting that not only did she not read the tax and spending bill before voting for it, but she would have voted against it if she had read it. Wasn't this the vote that went by one vote? Went through by one vote? She would have voted against the bill entirely if she had known about the AI language buried on pages 2-7. That's an average book. You can read up to page 300 in 5 days if you read 60 pages a day. That's what, an hour and a half of reading? You as a leader of your country couldn't set that time aside for the people that voted for you? Fucking crazy. Can she read it all? She tweets all day. She must. Full transparency, I did not know about section on pages 278, 279. Stripped states of the right to make laws or regulate AI for 10 years. 10 years. What did Sanders say? A lot of the entry-level white-collar jobs will be taken over by AI as well. Entry-level jobs that Republicans will be relying on because their blue-collar jobs are stripping their land away. I mean, not even to mention the effects of global warming on the blue-collar working class, but I digress. You have one job: to read the fucking bill. Representative Eric wrote in response. That's crazy. Representative Mark Pocan was more forward. Read the fucking bill instead of clapping for it like a performing monkey. You should have done your job while it was written. You didn't. You own that vote. You own the amount of people who will lose their jobs due to the actions you took and didn't take by reading a fucking bill. The same person that cackled like a fucking look at Biden's reaction. That cackled like a fucking donkey whenever Biden took the stage. Jesus. God, look at her go. Oh, she kind of looks like Kate Middleton. Anyway, these people. So to round out the video of me spewing for half an hour, these people do not work for you. They work against you. They work for themselves. They have no issue selling out the working class. They have no issue distracting people on Twitter saying such and such did whatever. They have no issues distracting you with bullshit so that they can get to the real work of lining their pockets, lining services like immigration, like defense, that don't need any more funding, strip away funding from services that a lot of working class Republicans need. A lot of people who are disproportionately affected are in rural areas, working class areas, and better yet, red states. There was a figure in the main video, 270 rural hospitals are at risk of closing because of the cuts to Medicaid, majority of which appear in red states. So yes, back to the thesis of the video. To be a conservative is to be a sucker. To be a conservative is to be of no consequence to the bigger picture. To be a conservative is to be in the corner having a fucking tantrum over the person next to you that doesn't use the same pronouns. To be a conservative is to remain dumb so that they can use you for your vote. Like, comment, and subscribe.